Congratulations. Now I say that because if you're watching this video, it's highly likely that somebody who loves you and that you love has asked you to make a speech at their wedding. And we get it. It's quite an unusual thing to do, and it's not something you naturally learn at school or in many professions. But we're celebrants, so we get to write for performance all the time, and we've got a few tips that we think might help. So, the first thing I want you to consider before you do any research, put pen to paper, start doing anything at all, is to think about what is the point of this speech. I don't mean what's the point of giving it, it's because you love someone and you want to make their wedding day extra special. This is about what's your goal? What do you want to say? What do you want to do? How do you want people to feel? Is your job to thank people? Is that the point? Is this about setting this couple off into the future with some wise words? Is it to make people laugh and to lighten the mood? We speak in the other video quite a lot about being yourself, so you need to factor this in. It has to be relevant and real to you. But what is your goal? Right from the beginning, before you do anything, know what you want this speech to achieve. The next thing you need to know is that a speech is written differently from anything, well, pretty much anything at all. It's a little bit like a poem. It's nothing like an essay. It's different. If you listen to some of the best speeches that have ever been given, you'll see that they have a lot in common. They have little trips like repetition or coming back to different points. We're not going to go into that in this video because that's actually some of the far more complex things around speech writing. But what you do need to know is that speeches are written differently. The sentence structure is very short, where every word has meaning. You can throw away some of the rules as well because you need it to be a speech. Therefore, it's not about the way written English works. You'll find buts and ands at the beginning of sentences sometimes, and you'll find that things repeat far more often than you would if you were writing, say, an essay or a report. Go and listen to some speeches and see them written down. You'll notice that that short, sharp, very hyper-meaningful sentence structure is repeated in all the great speeches. It's about being punchy, but it's also about changing the way that you write to a speech format. We call it speech English. For everything that we write for our ceremonies, it's in that very, very different style of writing. So go and have a look at it. Find out what those speeches have in common. Find out what would make sense for you and write in speech English. And our final point is that a good speech paints a picture and tells a story. And you need to do both of those things in your speech. Look at the wording of any good speech and you'll see that it's not necessarily the words you'd use if you were explaining something and writing to someone. Again, you're going to be writing something, but it's writing to be said. So think about the words. Think about words that paint a picture. There are some beautiful words like glisten and some horrible words like scuttle that when you hear them, they paint something straight away. You want people to be able to see your words in their head, and this is the real beauty of writing a speech. So take your time, write down what you want to achieve, and then start to think about how you're going to turn this written piece of work into something that is designed to be heard, to be pictured in the minds of your audience, to evoke emotion. Again, keep it with you. So if it's funny, if you're writing a funny speech and you are a funny person, it's going to be fantastic. But go away and think about how that joke falls on the ears of the people. It might be hilarious written down, but you say it out loud and it doesn't work. So you've got to remember this is something to be heard, not read. Think about each word carefully. Is there a better one? Can you evoke emotion? You know, let's say that you're the father of the bride and you're talking about your daughter and how on Christmas morning you remember when she was 9 and she slowly padded down the stairs. Padded, it's not a word that you'd use written down. And she gets to the bottom and you could see the Christmas lights reflected in her eyes as she saw for the first time her new bike. And you can remember the joy and the hope that brings. And she couldn't wait. She just couldn't wait to get outside and start learning to ride her bike. And how you remember letting go of the saddle and what that felt like in your hand as you watched her go off into the future. And today, you saw that same look in her eye, that look of hope and excitement. And you know that it's time that you let go of the back of the saddle. But this time it feels a little bit more permanent. But you're so pleased that the person that you have let go of the saddle to is someone as wonderful as the man that she's going to marry. Because when you look in his eyes, you see that same hope, that same excitement. And you want to wish the couple every success. Those pictures that you can paint about the people that you love will be magic because they're real and they're you and they're your pictures. And you need to project those into the mind of the people that are in your audience. I really hope that this and the other film that you can watch around actually presenting the speech, because that's another trick altogether, are helpful. We exist as alternatives to make weddings better, more personal, special, and really about those people that are in the room. That's what we do. That's why we are wedding planners and celebrants. We think it's really important. So if there's something that you want us to cover, please leave us a note in the comments, drop us a message, email. Follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram. We'll make sure that the address is at the end of this video. But also we provide, if you need it, one-to-one tailored support to help you write and present. And we're going to continue with lots and lots of these guides to help not just the speeches, but you plan and execute a wedding start to finish that is very special and very different. It's what we do. Thanks for listening.